Welcome all of you to Super's grammar class. Today we are going to study the second division of auxiliary verbs, modal auxiliaries. What are these modals and how do they differ from primary auxiliaries? We know that primary auxiliaries can stand by themselves. At the same time, they can help other verbs. Whereas these modals or modal verbs, modal auxiliaries, can do only or can execute only one function. They cannot stand by themselves. They can only help other verbs. So modal auxiliaries are the real helping verbs. They can only help other verbs. They can't stand by themselves. Since they can't stand by themselves, they do not have any singular plural forms, or we can say present, past, and past participle forms, or no ing form. In the case of primary auxiliaries, verb is, it has past form was, it has plural form are, it has ing form being. But with the case of or in the case of modals, they do not have any ing form, no past participle forms, and no singular plural forms. Now let us make a list of these modal auxiliaries: will, shall, would, should, can, could, may, might, need, dare, had to, must. These are the modals. Now let us study these modals one by one. In the case of modals, I have already told you that there are no past and past participle forms. But what is the past tense of will, and should is the past form of shall? How is it so? Is actually will, shall, would, should. The difference could be noticed only with the case of reporting. When we report a sentence, this will and would, shall and should come to our use. In traditional grammar, shall and should were used with first person, and will and would with the second and third person. But in modern English, there is no such restriction. In current English, I shall or we shall is generally used to indicate an offer or a promise. To indicate an offer or a promise. Look at these examples. I shall help you. We shall do it for you. It's an offer. Or we can call it a promise. I shall help you. We shall do it for you. Shall is used mostly in questions. Shall I close the door? Shall we go? Where shall we stay? What shall I do with this? Shall in second and third person was used to express a command, promise, threat, and willingness. Shall in second and third person to express a command, promise, threat, and willingness. Look at these sentences. They shall apologize. They shall apologize. That's a command. You shall have a party tomorrow. A promise. He shall be punished for the crime. It's in the form of a threat. You shall obey my directions. Determination. Look at these sentences. You shall not touch my bag. You shall not touch my bag. It's a command. We shall give you a gift. We shall give you a gift. That's a promise. Shall we go for a movie? Shall we go for a movie? A request or in the form of a suggestion. You shall furnish a complaint before the police. You shall furnish a complaint before the police. Someone makes a suggestion. So that is a suggestion, a strong suggestion we can call it. So you shall not touch my bag, a command. We shall give you a gift, a promise. Shall we go for a movie, a request? We shall furnish a complaint. You shall furnish a complaint before the police, a suggestion. Now let's move on to the next modal auxiliary, that is should. How to use should? Should is used to express duty, opinion, obligation, futurity, suggestion, purpose, etc. To express duty, opinion, obligation, futurity, suggestion, purpose, etc. We should help the poor. It shows duty. What should be done in such situations? Seeking opinion or asking opinion. We should respect our teachers. It's our obligation or it's a piece of advice. We should attend the function tomorrow. Futurity. To convince my boss, I have to practice every day. It shows purpose. So we should help the poor. It's a duty. It shows duty. What should be done? Seeking opinion. What should be done in such situations? We should respect our teachers' obligation or advice. We should attend the function tomorrow. Futurity. To convince my boss, I have to practice every day. It shows purpose. Now comes will and would. Will and would. I have already told you that the distinction between will and shall with the first person doesn't exist or hardly exists now. Generally, will is used to denote promise, willingness, determination, compulsion, command, warning, etc. To denote promise, willingness, determination, compulsion, command, warning, etc. Look at these sentences. I'll be more careful in future. It shows promise. I'll be at your service. It shows my willingness. I'll win next time. It shows my determination. Will you please drop us at school? It's a request, a polite way of making a request. No one will go out without my permission. Will go out without my permission. It's a command. Okay. Now comes would. First, the use of would in reported speech. While reporting a sentence, one of the rules says that the tense of the verb should agree. That is why, look at the first sentence. She said that she would come. Instead of will come, would come is written. Why? Because the tense of the verb should agree. Look at the next sentence. She asked how they would come. How they would come. Because the tense of the verb should agree. Asked, past tense, so will come, would come. When I was there, she would tell me stories. It is wrong to say when I was there, she will tell me stories. She would tell me stories. Would. Would is also used to express determination, willingness, preference, intention, request, wish, polite question, etc. Once again, to express determination, willingness, preference, intention, request, wish, polite question, and so on. Here are a few examples. Our soldiers would rather die than surrender. It shows preference. I would join the course next year. It shows intention. I would know where he is. I would know where he is. It's my wish. I am sure I would be selected. I'm sure I would be selected. It shows certainty. So, in order to show preference, intention, wish, certainty, etc., we use would. Next in the list of modals, can and could. Can and could. They are also auxiliary verbs and they come under the heading modal auxiliaries. Could you wait a moment? Can I have a cup of tea? Could I have your car for a day? These are all requests. Then, to make an offer, can I help you? Can I get you something to eat? Then to show ability, I can lift it easily. I can drive. Then to make more polite requests, could I have this? Could you please leave me? Look at these sentences. There was a time when I could drive a heavy truck. It shows past ability. There was a time when I could drive. It shows past ability. Could I take some rest in your room? It's a request, a polite request. Could I have this for a day? Permission, seeking permission. You could rest in my room. You could rest in my room. They're giving permission. It's an example of giving permission. Our party could win the assembly election. There is chance of it, there is possibility. Our party could win the assembly election. Could win. It shows possibility. Next comes may and might. May is used for asking permission, possibility, uncertainty, wish, purpose, etc. Used for asking for permission, possibility, uncertainty, wish, purpose, etc. Have a look at these sentences. May I come in? Permission. Seeking permission. May I go a little early today? Seeking permission. It may rain. There is possibility of rain. He may not come this way. He may not come this way. Uncertainty. It shows uncertainty. You may be right. You may be right. You may be wrong. That means possibility. Use of might. Might is often used to show a rare possibility. The patient might recover means a very rare possibility of recovery. He might not give you any opportunity means rare possibility. There is only very limited possibility. Might I come in? A very polite way of making a request. Might I come in? Very polite way to make a request. Next comes must. Sentences. He must apologize to the principal. Must apologize. It's obligation. It's a part of a command. You must arrange the money. It shows necessity. They must obey the directions. Means it is their duty to obey the directions. So must stands for duty. He must apologize. Obligation. Must arrange the money. Shows necessity. They must obey the directions. Shows next duty. Modal. Used to. Used to denote habitual action. He used to come here in the morning. It shows a habitual action. The company used to motivate the staff. One more example. I used to take exercise after 5 p.m. I used to take. It shows my habit. It denotes habitual action. One more. Ought to. Ought to. To denote or to express obligation. We ought to obey the rules. Means it is our obligation to obey the rules. They ought to deposit the money. Means it is their responsibility to deposit the money. They are obliged to deposit the money. They ought to. They are obliged to. They ought to deposit the money. That is the usage of ought to. Okay. So that's all for the day. See you in the next class with another classification of verb. Till then, bye.